So hello YouTube, this is Thomas Judge. You're back once again with another custom comic binding video. In this case it's the New 52 Batwing run, but it's only part of it with a bit of a twist. You'll see as we go through, but let's jump straight into it. Starting off with the trade paperback of Volume 1, The Lost Kingdom. I'll just point out that all of these were only ever released as trade paperbacks, none of them released as hardcovers unfortunately. And that's the back of it with a great cover image and some text and so on. And then if you look at the last page of the volume there, you'll see it's got an image there of Gotham, because it's when Batwing goes to Gotham, then a bit of extra art and some features there. It'll be clear in a few minutes why I'm showing you these pages. Then jumping into volume 2, again, it's a paperback. Again, it's written by Judd Winnick. Shadow of the Ancients, that's the front cover, and that's the rear cover. Interesting image, not anywhere near as good really. And then some usual blurb. This one is set in Gotham City. It's got a bit of a Night of the Owls crossover and so on, but overall very good again. And that's the final page of it. That image there on the left hand side of the trade paperback is actually from the issue 0, which is at the end of the volume, and then you've got an advert on the right and so on. But I just wanted to show you that just so you can see where that sort of fits in. And the next volume is volume 3, and you'll see here we've actually have Judd Winnick and then Fabian Nicieza. I'm not brilliant at pronouncing that name, unfortunately, but he wrote from issue 15 onwards, but issues 13 and 14 were written by Judd Winnick. Again, it's a paperback. This is volume 3, Enemy of the State. That's the rear with the blurb and the image and so on. And then, and this is the important bit, that's the back page, or the last full page of the comic, which is where the main character, who's called David, decides to basically become essentially Batwing 2.0, and that's the end of issue 18, which is the end in that collection. Now, the reason I've done this custom bind is twofold. One, these Batwing volumes are great. The first 3 volumes are fantastic, and it's a real shame they weren't released in hardcover. So if they were great in and of themselves, I would have probably done something similar to what I did to my volume of Catwoman Volume 1, also, by the way, by Judd Winnick, and I had that converted into a hardcover, which you can find elsewhere on my channel. However, in this case, the issue really comes down to, well, no pun intended, the following issue, issue 19. So Batwing issue 19 is a really interesting one because it sort of represents the watershed moment between it being a series set in the Congo, and with the lead character being a Congolese police officer called David, to then shifting to a much more standard, much more generic Gotham setting. So issue 19 is written by Jimmy Palmiotti and his colleague as well, who is Justin Gray, and they basically carry the series on for the rest of the run. And this happens quite a lot with comics, where you'll have one creative team and then another creative team come in and essentially just throw everything that happened before in the bin and just start again and stamp it their own way. Which is fine if you like the new creative team coming in. If you don't like it, then it's a real shame in terms of what happened with the old creative stuff. So in this case, because volume 18 isn't a natural ending for David's story, volume 19 is a really truncated, short ending of his story that then transitions to Gotham. So I'll give you an idea. The first 16 or 17 pages of the issue are the end of David's story, and actually pretty good. And this image here is the final image of David's story, essentially saying goodbye to Batman, saying he's no longer going to be Batwing, and etc. Then you have the last few pages of this issue. So you have this page where Batman's talking to Alfred about the Batwing suit. You have this page which is all just kind of filler and scene setting. And then that finally leads into the development which I really didn't like, which was this, which is the introduction of Lucius Fox as the new Batwing. Spoiler warning, by the way, for a story that's about 5 years old. But my point is, having Luke Fox as a new member of the Bat family, I personally felt was a really weak development. Not just because the subsequent comics weren't great, and I have very much a love-hate relationship with Jimmy Palmiotti's work, but also because it really narrowed the scope of what the Bat comics were doing. Having Batwing as being a former police officer based in the Congo, dealing with the sorts of issues he was dealing with, it was really fascinating, interesting stuff. And for anyone who has picked up the novel that I always try and promote through these videos, you'll know that a lot of that is actually set in Africa as well. And so I've got a bit of a soft spot for that, and I found it really interesting. Because these issues are the way they are, because the 19th issue contains some of David's story and then transitions into essentially something I don't like, what I wanted to do was actually add it into the comic bind the 3 volumes, and then at the end of it, bind most of, but not all of, issue 19. Now, for any of you that see my other issues, other videos, you will know that I really hate having adverts. I really hate just binding comics into collections or hardcovers. What I tend to do is have them custom printed. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But just to give you an idea, the very last page that I decided to have in this collection then was this page that I've made here, which is a cover of all the different covers and images that you have for the 19 issues. I know there are 20 there because one of them is actually an issue 0. It's in the first column and in the 4th row. There you are, that's the issue 0 cover. But that makes 20 covers in total, that makes 20 issues in total. And I just kind of messing around, I thought this would make quite a good back page, in the same way that a lot of the old Marvel omnibuses have that back page of the dust jacket with every single cover included inside it. This was me just messing around really. If you don't like it, fair enough. It was just something that I wanted to try. And personally I thought it looked quite good. As always, when it came to the dust jacket design, I decided to use one of these particular DC logos. This is a set of the DC Peel logo variants that I have. The DC Peel being the logo used during the DC New 52 era from 2011 to 2016. And the one I've gone for is the one that's in the middle column, 2nd row, so that sort of dark DC Comics kind of Venomized sort of logo, but you'll see that in a second as well. So just to jump into the video and show you what the video looks like, here is the hardcover. As you can see, it's pretty thick, so on my shelf, if and when I eventually do a room tour, you actually see it's about as thick as the Forever Evil hardcover. So there you have the cover with no text on it. There you have the spine. I decided to go with the secondary name, so In the Shadow of the Ancients, and I've actually put the number 2 there just to indicate that it's within a series, I suppose. And there's a back blurb that I spent a fair bit of time writing, with that image from the back of the first trade, and there's the DC Comics logo that I really like. It stands out a little bit, it's nice, it's different. I tend to make all my custom dust jackets hold that. So that's what the dust jacket looks like. On the inside blurb, you've got some blurb I wrote there, which kind of summarises the 3 different volumes: Lost Kingdom, Shadow of the Ancients, and Enemy of the State. I kind of worked on that myself, but it's broadly based on the stuff that was there originally. And then just sort of flicking through, you'll see there I've got the first volume, and that's literally just the pages from the trade paperback sliced open and glued into this hardcover spine. Flicking through, I just have to say I really enjoyed this story. I thought it was really smart. I thought it was really politically astute. It was, yes, kind of grim, kind of gritty, and all those things that the New 52 is generally maligned for, but personally these things are always a matter of taste, and I really, really enjoyed it, much more than the ones that came later on. So there's that image I was talking about at the end of Volume 2, and you'll see there I then move straight into Volume 3. I've got this kind of opening credits page for each trade paperback included in. I know a lot of people wouldn't keep those, and they think that kind of breaks the 4th wall, but I'm not trying to pretend this is an official bind. It's not. This is the one I put together, it's the one I like, and I like the credit pages, so why not stick them in there? So I have them there for all 3 volumes. Here again, as we flick through, there's an image which is the end of Volume 3 on the left, and then on the right, this is a custom printed page of issue 19, and as I'll flick through that, you'll see that what it's got is, you'll see that's called Tying Up Loose Ends, because literally it is tying up loose ends. And then I sort of flick through, and you'll see that it goes as far as the final image that I showed you before, which is the character of David saying goodbye to Batman. And then I don't include the following pages involving the introduction of Luke Fox, because I don't like it. Instead I put in that compilation page that I showed you a moment ago, which took a little while to make actually, and involved learning a few new skills. And there is issue 19. There's the artwork sort of combined from Volume 1 and Volume 3, and then an advert, because there's no point in getting rid of that page. And then right at the back there, I've just done a quick potted summary of all the people involved in creating it, up from Judd Winnick and the artist, all down to Fabian Nicieza. Nothing at all in there about Jimmy Palmiotti, because I don't like it. And yeah, there we are. There's the hardcover. It looks nice. It looks very clean and polished. I hope you guys really like it. In terms of sort of where to go next, that's really the end of the video, but I just wanted to say please check out my other videos if you're interested in some of the stuff that I've referred to. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and as always, please support the channel by heading over to Amazon.com and maybe picking up one of the episodes of my episodic prose novel about superheroes and comic books. Each episode is only 99p or 99 cents. I'd really massively appreciate the support. But either way, until next time, guys, stay classy.